Alright, so I'm filming this video because I wanted to show you guys how I made this record Dreamin' that I just put out on Thursday. It was actually a really simple track for me to make, and a lot of people tend to ask me, how do you make your records? What's the process like for you? So I figured this would be a good way to show you guys exactly how I did it, from the beat to recording to finishing the entire record. I don't know how much of the mixing and mastering part I'll show you guys, but that's a whole another battle. But Dreamin's a really cool record. I was pretty stoked about it. I wrote it. Let's see here. I wrote Dreamin' on May 19th of 2020. I guess at 2:12 p.m. I don't know. That's just what my note says. That may not be the exact date. That may be when I last adjusted the note. But it's a pretty short record. It's only 2 minutes long, and the beat literally is just a snare, a hat, a kick, an 808, and then a melody. There's not really anything going on other than that. Super simple. I just wanted to make a record that was fun and quick, and I could kind of just say whatever I wanted, not take myself too seriously, because sometimes I tend to do that when I'm writing music. I tend to think about a lot of other things when it comes to what I'm writing, what I'm saying, but I tried to let this one just flow as much as possible. And I think I came out with some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, so I don't keep dragging on, let's get into how I made the beat. Alright, so here's my setup. It's nothing glamorous, so don't dog me. I got my keyboard right here, which I mainly just use for 808s melodies. And then I got this little guy right here I use for pretty much everything else. And then I'm using Ableton right now. This is my project setup. I left the beat up originally just so I can kind of have something to guide off of, because I made this beat a minute ago, so I don't really remember exactly how I did it. But yeah, we'll get into it. I'll show you guys how I did it. Alright, so most beats I usually start with a melody. So this one I used a splice melody found online. It's called O2 Synth Chords. Let me just load this up. Alright, here we go. This is what I did. Alright, so yeah, just easy, 3 quick chords. Let me quantize it because the way the loop rolls, it kind of makes it hard to hit right on the beat. Yeah, there it is, super easy. Alright, like I said, the beat really doesn't consist of a whole lot. Alright, next we got the snare. I used a Boy Wonder snare. I'm pretty sure I used a Boy Wonder kit for this entire thing, so it's called Sexy Little Something. Go ahead and load that up. Oh yeah, before I get into the snare, this melody, I added a few things. I just EQ'd it, which is what I normally do on every single instrument, whatever I'm making. I usually EQ it when I'm making a beat. Just takes out low end, high end sounds that aren't there, allows room for other instruments. And then for this melody, I added this thing called Around the Head. Basically just makes the melody kind of go more around the speakers and creates a little bit more width in the beat. So yeah, back to the snare. Here's the snare. It's a Boy Wonder snare. We're up a little high, bring it down. Alright, super easy. I didn't really do shit for this. I just literally one rhythm pattern the entire time. It's literally that easy. So I'll take that and duplicate it. For the sake of this, I'll quantize again. Yep, easy. Alright, now the hats. I used another Boy Wonder. I used this thing called Superhero Music Hat. It's nothing crazy, it's just a good hat. Sounds good, a little bit more live. Go ahead and that's pretty much what it sounds like. Same thing here as I did with the snare. Didn't really do any special rhythms or anything or any rolls, just kept it simple. Alright, make it even easier, quicker just doing it that way. Pull this down. Yeah, literally just did that the entire time. Quantize it, duplicate it. And now I'm not suggesting that you quantize everything that you do, you know, sometimes it allows it to be more natural if you try to not quantize as much and, you know, let yourself create the rhythm. But I guess that just depends on the rhythm that's in you. So if that's something you can do, try to keep it more natural. I'm just doing this for the sake of the video. Alright, so next we have the kick. And the kick was another Boy Wonder instrument, so it's a 21 kick 2. Nice sounding kick, a little bit more of a thump. I wanted in this, I wanted it to hit hard, really punch through. I like my kicks to punch. So yeah, this is definitely one of the kicks that can do that. Here we go. So another simple pattern. I switch it up twice. It's easy. So. Okay, literally that simple. I think I went off on one of them, but we'll quantize it. So you're getting the gist of the beat now. And literally the last thing I do is I add an 808 to this beat. This is definitely the simplest beat I have made in a long time. So sometimes simplicity is all you need though. This one is called 808. It's actually not a Boy Wonder. This is a Young Antho 808. Just something I have in the stock here. So go ahead and load that up. Yeah, we need to pull the volume down. This one's a little bit. She's a little aggressive. 12.3. This is just to polish off the sound. Here we go. Alright, not a very tricky 808 at all. Pretty basic. But yeah, that is literally how I made this beat. So here you go. It's literally was that simple. So that's how I made the beat.
Got a bad bitch at the crib, fuck the head up. I've been thinking hard about my city on the setup. Laying in my bed, wondering I'll be the next up. Things are getting gritty, but she lick it like it's ketchup. Hitting like Sylvester. Watch him put a telly on me. Swear to God, I'll make you never wanna leave. Getting silly for the music that I breathe. You ain't prayed, well, pray this doesn't put you on your knees.
Alright, so that's how I made the beat. Super easy process. Next, I usually go into recording. I pull my mic up right here. I literally just let the beat roll in Logic. I switch over to Logic when I'm recording, and I just write along to the beat. I usually try to come up with melodies, flows first, like a lot of other people do. And I think for this record, I was just doing a random flow, and I ended up saying some words like "Dreamin," and that ended up being the hook of the chorus. So worked out like that. And I just want to describe the intro because I know some people may have questions as to why I did that, but I was actually thinking of an old Dr. Dre record. It was him and Eminem. I gotta look it up. Let me look it up. But at the beginning of the record, there's like a noise, and it's literally just like a really high pitched noise, and then it goes into like the key, like drops right into the beat. And I really like the way it did that. So I was like, I was trying to think of a way I could do that. Yeah, the song's called "Forget About Dre." And I also was thinking about the Key and Peele skit where they're talking about saying "bitch" all the time, but they're like kind of hiding it. And then I know at the very end, like he says "bitch" when they're in outer space, and he just gets really high pitched, or he just drags it out really long. So I was like, I don't know if I just take that word and put it at the intro, and it ended up just making the beat hit a little harder sometimes if there's something before, that kind of hit, it really amplifies the beat when it does come in. So I was particularly like stoked on when I did that. But yeah, that's how I made the record. I actually went in and mixed and mastered it myself as well. But usually I'll do a pre-mix, which is what I do in Logic. I'll pre-mix the record, which is essentially just cleaning up all the vocals, cutting out any spaces that don't need to be in there, choosing which ones I like the most, consolidating everything, and then I'll bounce those vocals, which is this is a process, but I bounce them all into Ableton, and then I use a template my buddy Bardo gave me. He used to engineer my records, and basically use that as a basis for how to go about mixing my vocals. And then I'll bounce those back into Ableton again, and then I'll master using Ozone 9. Basic stuff for engineers. And just like a big shout out, to the beat process. That I really have to thank Mike Lilmeyer, One Mind, and then Sig Vicious, Sig Margot. He goes by a lot of things, but John Bradbury, those guys definitely really helped me out in producing and learning how to make my beats just hit a little bit harder. So if you're looking to get it back into producing or get into producing, really use your contacts, reach out to people, just hit them up, because a lot of people are willing to help you out, and that was huge for me. That I probably wouldn't have been able to do this, even though YouTube is great. I use YouTube for a lot of things. It still is really difficult to know exactly, which way is going to be the best way to do it, and there's so many different angles, and you can't ask questions. So yeah, that's how I made Dreamin'. I hope y'all dig it, and look forward to a new track on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the most. Yeah, lately I've been feeling close. Yeah, I'm trying to tour the whole globe. And baby, this is how it goes.